Surrounding means it's a remaining universe which can interact with the system that constitutes the surrounding. Some amount of energy has been supplied, right, to convert from one form to another form. That energy is known as internal energy. Intensive properties means boiling point, color, temperature, luster, hardness. Good morning everyone, I am Venu Prasad, Department of Chemistry, Vidyashram Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Today I am going with the topic thermodynamics. Its content is thermodynamic terms, types of system, internal energy as a state function, types of thermodynamic process and expression for work done. Let us go to the first. What do you mean by meaning of thermodynamics? Let us see. First thing is, it is a study of energy, principally heat energy that accompanies chemical or physical changes. Here we study how the chemical reaction is going on and how much temperature is required for the chemical reaction, as well as pressure, as well as how much volume, whether it is changing or not, that reactions will be seen here. Okay. First thing we have to think is, in our nature, everything reactions will be going on. One is reversible and another one is irreversible process will be taking place. But we will be not knowing that. Correct, right? But we should know that we have to note every point of view when we are doing some chemical reactions. First thing is, when chemical reactions is going on, we have to maintain one temperature, as well as we have to note down the pressure, and we have to note down whether volume has been changed or not. Okay, so they have derived the word called thermodynamics. But thermodynamics means this is a chemical reaction where when you supply little amount of heat to the analytes or chemicals. Okay, so thermodynamics is, it is a study of chemical reactions when internal energy has been supplied. Okay, so we have to note down whether pressure has been changed, temperature as volume has been changed during a chemical reaction. Next thing is thermodynamic terms. When we are studying some amount of chemical reactions, we have to note down what all observations are occurring in a nature. First thing is system. System means, what do you mean by system? It is a part of universe in which observations are made. Means here, if you take one conical flask, for that you are added little amount of water. This is a water. Okay, and it has got, let us think, it has got some amount of impurities. It has got little amount of impurities. Okay, then little amount of heat you will supply. If you supply little amount of heat, what we can observe? We can observe the some amount of impurities present in our water. So here system is water, then boundary is conical flask. Outside the conical flask, that is known as boundary, and surrounding, it is a part of the universe. Okay, so second term is surrounding. Surrounding means it's a remaining universe which can interact with the system that constitutes the surrounding. Third thing is boundary. The wall that separates the system from the surrounding is called boundary. Did you understand? Here system is water. We have taken a impure water. Then you will supply little amount of heat. When we supply little amount of heat, what will happen? We can observe the impurities which is present in our water. Then system is considered as water. Then boundary means outside the conical flask, and surrounding means it is the universe. So we will conclude that universe is equal to system plus surrounding. System plus surrounding. Next thing is types of system. Let us see which all types of system is present in our nature. Okay, then we can say that if we are doing a reactions in different types of temperature, correct, right? So first thing is open system, second one is closed system, another one is isolated system. First thing is open system. Let us see the definition of that. It is here, there is an exchange of energy and matter between a system and the surrounding. Example, if you take one beaker, for that if you add a water, what will happen? Hot water. If you have to add hot water to the beaker, then there is an exchange of energy. There is an exchange of energy between matter, system and a surrounding. There is an exchange of energy and matter between a system of surrounding. Why they have said that exchange of energy and a matter? Because if you add a hot water to the beaker, what will happen? 100% there will be a difference in temperature, correct, right? Because all the hotness which is present in the water, it is being abstracted by the environment, correct, right? So there is an exchange of energy and matter between a system and a surrounding. Okay, so next one is closed system. In closed system, what can we say? That here there is no exchange of matter. There is no exchange of matter, but there is a exchange of energy, if possible, between system and a surrounding. Here there will be no exchange of matter, but there is an exchange of energy. Example is, if you take a beaker, for that if you add hot water, what will happen? And if you close that, for around 1 to 2 hours, that hotness will be there. After that, what will happen? Hotness will be not there in the water, because just that heat has been absorbed by the surrounding, but not a mass. Its substance or its volume remains constant. So it is known as closed system. Next topic is isolated system. What do you mean by isolated system? Let us see that in isolated system, just there is no exchange of energy between system and a surrounding. There is no exchange of matter between system and a surrounding, because if you add a hot water to the thermo flask, and if you keep it for many hours, what will happen? There will be no exchange of matter between system and a surrounding. It will be, hotness will be there for 6 hours. So this type of reactions will be carried out in some temperature. So in thermodynamics, we derived 3 types of system. That is open system, closed system, third one is isolated system. Okay. Next one is states of the system. When we are carrying out some chemical reactions, we have to note some amount of variables like pressure, volume, temperature and amount. Because if you are doing some amount of chemical reactions at particular temperature, means we should note the temperature, correct, right? Second one is pressure. Third one is volume, because if you supply little amount of internal energy to the chemical reactions, then there will be a changes in temperature, volume, pressure. So we have to note down always these 3 variables. That variables are considered as states of the system or states of variables. Next thing is, we have given here, it is a measurable or microscopic properties. In thermodynamics, we learn or we measure the macroscopic properties of some chemical reaction. Means macroscopic means it is visible to our eyes. Macroscopic means it is visible to our eyes. Okay. Next one is, these systems or these pressure, volume, temperature and amount are considered as state variables. Next thing is internal energy as a state function they have given. Internal energy as a state function. What do you mean by internal energy? It is the sum of all types of energy associated to the system. It is the sum of all type of energy associated to the system. Means, for example, here we have given, you have taken some amount of chemical. Okay. For that, if you add little amount of water and it will be dissolved, like sodium hydroxide. Here, sodium hydroxide, let us take in a beaker. Sodium hydroxide is taken in a beaker. For that, if you add water, you will add water. When you add water, what will happen? Then it will be dissolved. It will be dissolved. After some time, you will supply little amount of heat. After some time, you will supply little amount of heat. What will happen? It gets converted to other form, right? So we are converting liquid to the gaseous state. So some amount of energy has been supplied. That is considered as internal energy. Let us take conversion of water to vapor state. Means vaporizing the water. Means just you are boiling the water. You should take one normal water which is at lab temperature around 25 degrees Celsius. For that, if you pass a little amount of heat, what will happen? There will be after a boiling point, it gets converted into vapor form. Some amount of energy has been supplied, right, to convert from one form to another form. that energy is known as internal energy. That energy is known as internal energy. Here, internal energy may change when heat is passed into or out of the system. Heat is passed into or out of the system. Second thing is work is done or by the system. Third one is matter enters or leaves the system. Okay. Here first let us go to the first point. Heat passes into or out of the system we have taken. Okay. For example, if we take water, then if we pass the little amount of heat, what will happen? That heat has been absorbed by the water. So heat passes into or out of the system. Out of the system is example is, let us take hot water has been brought to the room temperature. Means hot water, if we are cooling the hot water, what will happen? Then heat passes into, no, we should not say heat passes out of the system because it has been cooling of hot water is an example for that. Next one is work is done on or by the system they have given. Why we should say work is done on the system? Because you are forcibly converting one form to another form. Second thing we have said work is done by the system. Why we have to say work is done by the system? Because decomposition of some chemicals, that is work is done by the system, because here work is done by the system if they are saying means we should know that that chemical has been interacting with the atmospheric temperature. So that is known as work is done by the system. If you want to say work is done on the system, you should take one chemical, then you have to pour little amount of water to that. It should be dissolved. It should be dissolved. So we should say that work is done on the system because chemical will be in the solid state and it has been converted into liquid state. So work is done on the system. If work is done by the system, we have to say that forcibly we are not doing that. Just that chemical will be in the solid form. When it interacts with the atmospheric temperature, it will be converted into liquid form. So work is done by the system. Next thing is matters enters or leaves the system. Matter enters or leaves the system means, for example, decomposition reaction only we can take. Because in your daily life, you'll be preparing some food, for example, like curd. After 6 hours, what will happen? Decomposition starts to smell. Then we can say that it has been matters enters or leaves the system because it has been decomposed. Because there is an interaction between the atmospheric temperature as well as the surrounding temperature, correct, right? Which is present in our curd. So there is a both interaction. We can't say that only one interaction. So we should say that matters enters or leaves the system, we have to say. Next thing is intensive and extensive properties. What do you mean by intensive properties? Let us see. These are the properties depends upon only upon just amount of substance present in the system. It's a amount. It is a properties depends upon the amount of substance present in the system they have given. Okay. Here intensive properties means boiling point, color, temperature, luster, hardness. Let us take for the boiling point. If your chemical is in the solid form, you have to bring it to the liquid form. We have to boil that. We should know the boiling point of that chemical. Did you understand? Second thing is color. Color depends upon how chemical reaction is going on in the atmospheric temperature. Means, for example, glucose. It will have some amount of spirit content in it. Correct, right? So, if it is exposed to atmospheric temperature, after some days, what will happen? Its color turns to yellowish form or brownish form. So, there will be change in the color. Next one is temperature. All depends on temperature, right? Because if the chemical is in the solid form, if the temperature is more, then what will happen? 100% it gets converted from one form to another form. Next one is luster. Luster, shiningness. For example, let us take one gold content. Okay, little amount of iron content is added to the gold. What will happen? It will lose its lustrous content. Next thing is hardness. Hardness means you can see today. Let us take in our daily life sweet like coconut burfi or any other things. Okay, after some time, if it loses or if it decomposes, what will happen? It will become hard. Correct, right? So these are the intensive properties of some chemicals which is present in our daily life. Okay, all depends on amount of substance which is present in our system. Next one is extensive property. Extensive properties means these are the properties depends upon the quantity of matter contained in the system. Means it depends, extensive properties always depends upon the quantity. It depends upon the quantity of the matter. Okay, let us see what are the quantity. Means it depends upon the volume, mass, size, weight and length. Let us see here why it is depending upon quantity. If you are doing some amount of chemical reaction, today if you have taken 10 ml of water, 10 ml of water, then you heat it. After you heat, whether its volume will be same? No, right? So this is the extensive properties which has been observed in our chemical reaction. Okay, in our chemical reaction there are two types of properties. One is intensive and extensive property. Extensive property, it depends upon the quantity. We should know, right? If we have taken 10 ml of water, then after boiling if you get very less, we should note all the volumes, temperature, pressure. Okay, that is considered as extensive property. Means we should know before the reaction what is its mass, what is its volume, what is its length and what's its size. After the reaction, we should know what is the mass, what is the volume and what is the weight. We should know that. Observation we have to note down during the chemical reactions. Okay. Next topic, types of thermodynamic process. When we are doing some chemical reactions, we have to maintain some amount of pressure, volume, temperature and mass. We have to maintain. Then only some chemical reactions takes place. Okay. Here types of thermodynamic process. There are 4 types of thermodynamic process. One is isothermal process. Second thing is adiabatic process. Third thing is isochoric process. And fourth one is isobaric process. What do you mean by isothermal process? In isothermal process, temperature of the system remains constant during the process. Then this process is known as isothermal process. Let us take one example. First thing is, we can take one beaker, we can add little amount of water, then we starts to boil. When we starts to boil, what will happen? Some amount of temperature, means temperature will be goes on increasing. Temperature will be increasing. After some time, it remains constant. Here we know that boiling point of water is 99 degrees Celsius. Correct, right? So we should know that in isothermal process, temperature is maintained constant. After 99 degrees Celsius, whether boiling point increases? No, right? It remains constant. So we can give an example is boiling point of water, okay, is 99 degrees Celsius and here temperature remains constant. Okay. Next thing is adiabatic process. In adiabatic process, no heat can flow from the system to the surrounding or vice versa. No heat can be flown from system to the surrounding. Okay. Let us take one example. First thing is, we can add a hot water to the thermo flask. Then if you keep it for 6 to 7 hours, what will happen? There will be no exchange of heat between system and a surrounding. So that is an example for adiabatic process. Third thing is isochoric process. In isochoric process, what will happen? Volume of the system is kept constant. Volume of the system is kept constant. Can we give some example? Here I have given here. This is an example for isochoric process. One example is, if you pour ice cubes to the ice container, what will happen? There will be no exchange in volume. There is no exchange in temperature. Only here volume remains constant. Correct, right? Ice cubes remains constant there. So its volume also does not changes. We can say that in isochoric process, example is pouring of ice cubes to the ice mixture or ice bottles. Okay. Next thing is isobaric process. In isobaric process, what we can say that it is a process during which pressure of the system is kept constant. Pressure of the system is kept constant in isobaric process. Here, let us take in our daily life, we will boil or we will cook the rice. During cooking, what will happen? Just we have to take the rice and pour to the pressure cooker and we have to boil it. There, pressure remains same, correct, right? So in isobaric process, pressure should be kept constant. Temperature will be varying, but in isobaric process, pressure should be kept constant. Okay. Next thing is types of thermodynamic process at particular condition. At particular condition. Why I have mentioned particular condition? Because decomposition of some chemical takes place at particular temperature. So we have to say that one reaction will be reversible and another reaction will be irreversible. Why I have taken? Because just to say that chemicals react at particular temperature, it does not react at room temperature. Only it will react at particular temperature. So we have to say that types of thermodynamic process at particular condition. First thing is reversible process. In reversible process, here process which can be reversed at any instant of time. Here process in which it can be reversed at any instant of time. That is known as reversible process. Example is ice has been converted into water and water has been converted into ice. At particular condition, right, it is if water gets freeze, what will happen? It gets converted into ice. Then ice is converted into water at room temperature, correct, right? So we have to say that this process takes place at particular condition. Next thing is irreversible process. Irreversible process means it is a process in which is carried out rapidly so that system does not get a chance to attain equilibrium. Irreversible process, it's a process in which is carried out rapidly so that system does not get a chance to attain equilibrium. It does not get a chance to attain equilibrium. Means, let us take one example is decomposition reaction. Today, if we cook a food, after 6 hours, it gets decomposed. After it gets decomposed, whether we can use it? No, right? So it is a irreversible process. Or if you come to the chemical laboratory, heating the water, it gets converted into vapor. When it gets converted into vapor, whether it can be brought to its original state to the liquid form? No, right? Next thing is, let us learn the difference between reversible and irreversible process. Okay. First thing is, this process is carried out infinitesimally slowly. This process takes place very slowly. We should know that. Next one is irreversible process is, this is carried out rapidly because as temperature increases, what will happen? 100% it gets decomposed. So it will not attain, will be in the original state. Okay. Next thing is, at any stage, equilibrium is not disturbed. Equilibrium will be not disturbed in reversible process. Next thing is, equilibrium may exist only after the completion process. Equilibrium may exist only after the completion of the process. Next thing we have to think that it takes infinite time for the completion. It takes infinite time. Let us think. Example means converting water to the ice. It takes around 6 to 7 times, or it depends upon the apparatus which we are cooling, correct, right? So it takes infinite time. Okay. Next thing is, it takes finite time for the completion. Why we are saying that it takes a finite time? As temperature increases, 100% decomposition, it starts to decomposes. Okay. Next thing is, work obtained in this reaction is maximum. Work obtained in this reaction is always maximum in reversible reaction. But in irreversible reaction, it is not maximum. Okay. These are the differences between reversible and irreversible process. Next thing is expression for the work done during adiabatic process. What do you mean by adiabatic process? Let's think first. Let us learn adiabatic process. What do you mean by adiabatic process? Okay. Here it's a process in which there is no transfer of heat between system and the surrounding. There is no transfer of heat between system and the surrounding. For example, let us take hot water which is poured to the thermoflask. If we keep it for 6 to 7 hours, what will happen? There will be no transfer of heat. Okay, that is known as adiabatic process. But how work is done during adiabatic process? We should know the equation of work done during adiabatic process. Okay, let us bring the change in internal energy of the system, and by doing some work on it. Okay, here let us take one beaker. For that, let us add water. Okay. Then we should maintain, or we should note its volume. We should note the volume and temperature. We should note the volume and temperature. Okay. After that, we should supply little amount of heat to it. We should supply little amount of heat to it. Okay. Then what will happen? 100% there will be change in internal energy. Internal energy will be denoted by U, and internal energy will be changed, and temperature also changed. Okay. We should note that. Then let the temperature of the initial state of the system be TA. Means before you are passing the internal energy, we are noting the temperature as TA, and internal energy be UA. Means before you are passing to the system. Then we can change the system by doing mechanical work or electrical work. Here mechanical work or electrical work. Today we are supplying the heat. Okay. Next thing is, let the temperature in the final state be TB. Let the temperature in the final state be TB, and internal energy be UB. Okay. Next, it is found that temperature is TB is greater than TA, and change in temperature we have to note down, right? Change in temperature will be delta T is equal to TB minus TA. Thus, the change in internal energy also you should be calculated. From internal energy, we will come to know that work done. Okay. Conclusion, just we have to say that first in a short, we can say like this. We have to take a water in a beaker. We have to note down its volume, temperature, and before, if we are passing a heat to the water, you have to maintain the what is the internal energy. Okay. After you pass the heat to the water, what will happen? Then internal energy also increases, temperature also increases. So I have given TB is greater than TA. Then difference in temperature also we have to calculate. TB minus TA. TA is the temperature at initial state, and TB is the temperature at final state. Means after you pass the heat to the system. Then when you pass a heat to the system, 100% there will be change in the internal energy also. So I have given delta U is equal to UB minus UA. If there is a change in internal energy, there will be a work done, because when internal energy changes, water gets converted from liquid state to vapor state. So work is done. In my next section, I will be handling first law of thermodynamics. Thank you.